Well, hey, Gundam Maniacs, welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. Hey, we've got a new look at the mobile suits that will be featured in that new VR Silver Phantom, so yeah, let's dive in. All right, this is from Ollie Barter over at Forbes. Gundam Silver Phantom confirms Delta Gundam variant in new trailer. So let's look at this. The upcoming VR feature-length anime, Gundam Silver Phantom, just got a new trailer and finally confirmed the Gundam-type mobile suit that will be featured. Okay, so what we've seen so far looked like a Zeta Delta variant. It looks like we're on track with that. Back when Silver Phantom was announced, I could see that the main Gundam was some kind of Delta Gundam variant. This new trailer shown below confirms that, as does the breakdown on the anime over at Gundam Info. The latter specifies that this Delta Gundam variant is actually based off the Delta Plus and is called the Delta Zine. It does, however, have a different head taken from another mobile suit, but it's cool to see a proper Delta Gundam finally. This is because the original Delta Gundam acted as the basis for the Hyakushiki and Zeta Gundam. The Delta Plus then popped up in Gundam Unicorn, and considering that Silver Phantom takes place in UC 0096, it makes sense that a few Delta Plus mobile suits would be laying around for some funky modifications. And so yeah, let's take a look at it right there. And it looks really cool. It has that familiar look with the deltas, but what's interesting is the emblem it has on the shoulder, and we'll get to that. All right, so again, this is on Gundam Info, but this is also translated, so it's not entirely correct. But it starts with a summary of what's going on. So it's UC 0096. So think of that time frame, 96. So we're thinking like Unicorn, but before all the stuff with Hathaway. And we've got Argent Keel. If that is spelled correctly, translated correctly, Argent Keel, an unofficial mercenary organization that is neither the Federation nor Zeon, has been commissioned to assassinate Azami Megine, a high-ranking Federation official. The mission was requested by the Federation, who cannot make public Azami's existence as a collusion with Zeon, but just before the fleet is to depart, it is none other than the Federation's Jagan unit that attacks them. In the midst of this extremely chaotic situation, a silver Gundam that Argent Keel secretly owns is released into space. So I'm seeing some cool story elements that we've seen in Gundam before. You know, I like the idea again of a kind of a third party here, especially at this point in the UC timeline when, you know, the Zeon remnants are pretty much mostly broken up, but, you know, they still exist. We have, for instance, the sleeves, but they're broken up to a point because we have the Federation having a lot of power through corporations that are working with them, and it's more of everyone's kind of scratching each other's backs with the weapon building scheme. And so, yeah, talking about the emblem, yeah, if you look over on its left shoulder, that Argent Keel AK. It looks like it has some sort of white flag or ribbon around what is the K combined with the A, and then like mountains or rocks below. We might get more detail on that once we get more story. And here's a cool look right here. Again, it uses some of the evolved CGI from Gundam Evolve, where it kind of has a cel-shaded look to it, but it still looks really good, especially considering you know, this is a VR game and movie. All right, well, we got the protagonist here. This is really about the suits. So the Delta Zane, spelled like that in the translator, Zine is probably how it's pronounced. Model number DZ001. So it looks like if we look at the Jagd Weiss or Vice, how has the JW. So I guess it's just going off of the name of the mobile suit. A modified Delta Plus provided by Anaheim Electronics to Argent Keel. So again, this is where it's like, hey, oh, you've got this going on. Can you build us one with like this and this and we'll pay or whatever? Due to a secret agreement, non-standard parts are used for the exterior of the aircraft. The head is reused from a prototype of a different project. The armor shape uses data from a Phantom aircraft that was frozen in the design stage, and the shield is a new, specially made item. It is painted silver, the symbol of Argent Keel. So, you know, silver is kind of described here as like, I guess, the main color scheme that sort of describes or is what represents Argent Keel. And maybe we'll get more information through that story. And this Jagd Weiss, I don't know. Argent Keel acquired a Jagd Doga that was intended to be handed over to the Neo Zeon remnants as a spare part and modified into this machine. All of the original Psychamu equipment has been omitted. In addition to strengthening the sensors, the shoulder shield has also been redesigned, increasing thrust capacity, equipped with a special beam shot launcher. Pretty neat. And this is pretty cool. The Rigazi Argent Keel specification. After the Second Neo Zeon War, multiple Rigazis were manufactured for technical testing, and Argent Keel acquired one of them and modified it himself. The backpack has been strengthened and specially adjusted for use in MS form. which does not assume the optional back weapon system is installed. Okay, again, quick look. There we go. Sorry, trying to fit this in. Anyway, loving the look at this. It's Gundam-y. It's more on the Zeta side of Gundam, but it's still very cool, especially for that time period. And didn't ask for this, but this looks good, especially with the colors. I recently built Gune. Anyway, I just recently built his, and it's like the colors are crazy on it, like a toy. This streamlines that, and it really gives it a nice looking silhouette. And then the Rigazi, what a great idea, bringing this back, giving it the color scheme it has. Pretty cool stuff. And so, looking at the origin of this is this MSN 001 Delta Gundam. This is, I guess, the original model, went on to be the Hyakushiki, amongst others. And here's even the Delta Gundam 2. So there's multiple variants that came off of this Delta type, where the Delta itself is very unique, but it seemed to have a lot of Zeta stuff also incorporated it, and those were kind of the designs of the future lines of the Zetas and the Deltas, where it's a combination of those things. Very streamlined, jagged edges. It was kind of new for Zeta in terms of the designs outside of the universe, but also in universe. Anyway, for the time period, I think the look of these three suits works well. I like the idea that we've got this, other third-party faction. We see this sometimes with like Luo and Co. So anyway, that was a quick look at the three mobile suits we're going to be getting with Silver Phantom. It's a new faction called Argent Keel. We're going to learn about some new characters, see their motivations. Their motivations not just within this organization, but how they work with the Federation, for instance. So I'm really excited about this because it's like a VR game that you kind of control in some way, or you get to experience, but it's also a story, another story in the UC timeline. So excited about it. Well, anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks to the supporters for making this possible. If that's something you're into, check out the links in the description below, or come join our Discord. We have a lot of fun there. But until next time, be cool.